So I will give you a quick go through of my network of what I did for this final project. So on the first container, as you can see here, as I press play, you can see there's a slow transition between 4 different kind of symbols. And as you can see here, there's a lyrics that I put on top of the video using overtop. Okay, so how I made this video is that I use Adobe Illustrator to create all the 4 symbols, and I combine them using CapCut into making a short video. So let me show you how I made the lyrics first. So over here, for the lyrics, okay, so over here for the lyrics, what I did here was I used the text that and I put the lyrics here for the first part, for the first container. So over here I use a convert and I use select. So over here I use select because I want to show the lyrics, each sentence one by one, so you can have the effect that you saw just now. And over here, the reason why I create this network over here is because these are keyboard in, and the reason why I use keyboard in is because I want to change the sequence of every lyrics, each sentence that I put. So over here you can see is this button is for increase, decrease, and reset. So I made 3 buttons because it's much easier to control. And over here you can see I use count and math. So math, I use the combine chops and subtract both together. And over here is a limit, which is connecting to convert. The limit will be the maximum lines of lyrics it has. And over here now, then record. So how this works is once I put this here, and if I start to run it, and when I press the key Q, it will start changing the lyrics, which you can see over here. Okay, so let me try again. When I press E, which is reset, it starts with the first line, and when I press Q, it starts with the second line, third, fourth, and fifth. And when I press decrease, you can go back to the first line by doing so. So after recording the line, I use this one. I saved the channel that I did previously and use top file in chop, time slice, then to now, then record. So afterwards, when you see when it starts the video, it will follow the song as well. Now on to the visuals. Like I mentioned before, I use Adobe Illustrator and CapCut to achieve this. And over here I use the particle GPU, and using the RAM, reorder, and point transform, I can make the image turn into particles for this effect. So onto the audio reactivity, I use the AI vocal isolation so that I can achieve different effects. And as you can see here, there's two different audio. One is for vocal and one is for the background music. And I wanted to create something different. So I use the transform top to make it has audio reactivity. So after testing some of the audio, I put these are my results. I use the null to reference chop. Then for the visuals, I use RGB key to make the black background, and I use ramp to color it, to color the particles. Then I use bloom to give it a nice effect, glowing effect. Then I use the overtop for the lyrics and the visual. And I use lens distort to make it look like a computer screen effect. It's not very obvious, but I want to maintain the same as the other scenes, so I kept it this way. So on to the next one, which is the second scene. Okay, so for this scene over here, you can see it's slightly different. The lyrics they look different, and the background, which is the wavetable effect. So let me quickly run through how I did for the subtitles. It's almost the same, and yeah, the inside is almost the same, and for the outside, what I did was I transformed it and put an overtop with the visual at the back. Now for the visual, it's slightly different. It's more different than the previous one. So what I did here was over here I did so sorry, for this part I started out with making the wavetable lines. So but before that, I made this geometry for the frame of the laptop, the computer screen, and I made this geometry to frame it up, so it looks like a speaker wavetable. And over here is the important part, which is the audio reactivity. So like I mentioned before, what I did here was I used AI to separate the vocals and the BGM, so I can use the different kicks and different rhythms to make the pattern react to the audio, so it looks more natural, like somebody is talking on the microphone. So over here I use select tool and select out the audio reactivity that I want. So mostly over here I use mid because it reacts the most. And over here I use what I learned from the tutorial. I use pattern and noise chop to create the the shape of the speaker wavetable effect. So over here, I use a replicator to create multiple wavetable effects to achieve this kind of visual. So after I finish, I use then distort to create the computer screen effect, which is more obvious on this scene, and I use transform to relocate it. I use bloom RGB key for the visuals. So right now over here, I made these are the networks that I use to make it more like a TV screen. So over here, the most interesting part is that over here, if I adjust the numbers, you can change the number of grid levels and tile ratio. So just now, when it's for the grid, when it's 5, it's slightly different. But when I put 8, it looks like something like this. So it's a very nice setting that I can have when I want to change. Now on to the third one. So here is the block track scene. So I use movie file in to put the CapCut editing video I did. And over here I just like the visuals that I did, bloom, level, edge, and to make it like more of a edited scene, it looks like a particular music videos. I use edge and bloom to create more better visuals. So over here is for the block track, and over here is the network for the lyrics, which is the second part of the rap. So it's almost the same method that I did. And here is blend distort RGB key. Now for the final one, it's also the same as the second one. For the visuals remains the same. The only thing that is different are the lyrics and the channel that I save for the timing. And to top it off, to record the audio, I use audio file in and audio device out so I can listen while I experiment. So what I learned from one of my tutorials is over here at the bottom, you can put the audio length, and once I press play mode lock to timeline, I can just readjust the audio to where I want to start. So it's quite convenient for me. And that's it. That's all for my presentation. Thank you so much for watching.